We are professionals here. Hello and good evening, everybody, for this wonderful, magical March 11th, 2026. We have just finished watching the third episode of Survivor 50 in the hands of the fans, titled Did You Vote for a Swap? But here on this channel, Super Mario Bros. Podcast, we're just getting warmed up. Whether you're joining us live, YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, or catching the audio version wherever you get your podcasts, our mission is to cover every twist, every blindside, meltdown, tribe swap, master stroke continues here, featuring the largest cast in Survivor history, 24 Survivor players across 49 seasons. Now 4 torches snuffed, everyone. Only 20 remain, and the game has officially been shaken up, and the tribes have been mixed, alliances have been scrambled, and half the cast is suddenly wondering whether these fans just voted for chaos or whether chaos just voted for them. Now here's the guy who just watched this third episode and is wondering, I don't know where this is going. I'm your host, Dave Mader, and joining us, we got a great panel here, everyone. He's a pop culture tactician with Funko stacked to the ceiling and hot takes ready for tribal. And if the swap creates chaos, he's already dissected it. Together, he's half of a duo of insight and analysis. It's Jaemeel Robinson, everyone. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm minus my better half, but
Yes.
do the best I can. Good job, Dave. On the fly, pretty good.
Thank you, Jaemeel. Also joining us, our resident pro wrestling aficionado, always ready to call it the heel turns, the babyface plays, and the tribal theatrics that feel straight out of the squared circle. Episode 3 was full of big characters and even bigger swings, and he's already breaking down the booking. Jason R. Phillips, everyone. Oh, he's muted. But you know what? In our hearts, my
MVP got voted out of my fantasy league, and I'm mad. Okay, I liked Q, and then spoilers.
Spoilers, of course, for episode 3 of Survivor 50. We're getting right into it, but also with us here, we'll see if he's hot or not. He's here for the competitions, the chaos, and the clutch performances. If a challenge is brilliant, he's ranking it, but if it's a flop, he will be calling it out. And we'll see what he thinks about this particular challenge. An episode where the swap changed everything. He's got the receipts. Josh Foster, everyone.
Heyo, happy to be back.
Welcome, Foster. Good to see you. Yes. Well, okay. Let's just get into it. As we mentioned, spoilers. Q is our 4th player removed from this game. 3rd voted out. Jaemeel's happy. At least one player is happy. Player, I guess, in the draft.
I am too. I'm happy as well. I told you at the beginning. I don't know why he's for short-term entertainment, I guess.
Here's one guy who's not happy about it. Jason R. Phillips, everyone.
I'm so mad. It's such a piss off. My wife's MVP got voted out last week with Savannah, and this week it's me. I didn't clown her, so it's not karma. And she's just looking at me like, look, them's the breaks. And I was like, those are the breaks.
Yes. I'm also sad to see her, Q go at this particular stage. I would have rather somebody else. But I kind of understand why it was Q, because he's kind of a chaotic player. He's kind of one of these unpredictable players. He makes for good TV, but I don't know, in this season of vets, I don't think he's the kind of player that they're going to want to work with long term when there are other options on the table, more familiar, more trustworthy options. If you're someone like Mike White, I think Angelina and Christian are pretty safe bets from his point of view. Not that he had the option to go with Q. I guess really that this whole tribe tonight, this new swap, and we get this new Vatu purple tribe, and Emily ends up being this major player. Cross alliances, she's kind of in the middle and kind of really seems to dictate how this goes here. And ultimately, she doesn't want to work with Q and or Stephanie, even though they were trying to bring her into some kind of a group that included Ozzy at one point, I think. So anyway. I don't know. Jaemeel.
Okay, you need to come to me because I guess I'm the Emily expert. I chose her in original season.
Yes.
As one of my my choice to win. Emily is a player who is much better when she gets herself established, and having her situation kind of turned up and kind of thrown into one she wasn't prepared in, a situation she wasn't prepared in, you could see the results. Her issue with an Q and the Aussie kind of situation was she quickly noticed that she wasn't driving the bus. She wasn't going to get her hand on the wheel, and she was basically going to be the bottom person of the totem pole. So she's like, okay, let's change things up. Let me see if I can get back with Christian and go with the Goliath 4, the David versus Goliath 3, sorry. But
3+1.
she also she also has to realize that with that alliance, she's also at the bottom. Now,
Yeah.
if she established with Christian at the beginning, right? I think she would have been in a much better position because she would be Christian's number one on that team with the auxiliary being the David and Goliath people.
Yeah, she was
And she
already
didn't.
on this alliance. But okay, well, there's a lot to break down here. But Christian, I guess, also being this, he's a member of this alliance with Devins and Emily coming before this swap here tonight, right? And then, right before the swap, he blurts this out to Emily on the pads, like, "Oh, Aubrey's got the idol." And I was like, "What? Like, I know you're afraid that somehow Emily and Aubrey are going to end up on a tribe together, and somehow this idol is going to end up with Emily voted out or something." I guess is what Christian's thinking. But there's very little upside to him blurting that out the way he did to Emily. If he wanted her to have that information, tell her in advance. Because you never know if there's going to be a swap at any time if you're really that concerned.
And it
So
blew up in his face almost immediately too.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think he was really lucky not to get voted out here because if say, okay, how about not Angelina? How about Christian, right? And maybe you get Angelina and Mike White to go, sure. I don't know.
I don't think there would be. I think Christian is too valuable of a person to get voted out. He has a skill that I think that is few and far between in terms of all the castmates. So
I don't want to see Christian go, but I don't know. He's kind of a loose cannon. He's like one step above Q for me, like in terms of how reliable of an alliance member he is. Q more of like a chaotic, neutral kind of a character.
Q is chaotic neutral.
Q's chaotic neutral.
I think I think he's a little bit more chaotic, not probably chaotic good, or you know what I mean. Like there was one point in his season where he was like, "Everybody just vote me out," and that ended up playing well for him because they were like, "Whatever, don't listen to him." And he tried to pull something similar to that tonight, where he was just like, "Put your vote on me, so it doesn't, so it doesn't all go on to I think it was Stephanie." And then
let Stephanie go.
Should have just let Stephanie go or let it come down to that tie because who knows what would have happened. But that's just me me talking about my own Survivor game. I think that it's also dumb that Q is gone from a completely unbiased point from what Ozzy was saying. And if this team is going to go into like losing function like for the rest of their time together, they needed Q at least to help with the more physical parts because now all they really have is Ozzy, and Ozzy's kind of like in the twilight of his career. So I think that this, from an old school standpoint, was a terrible idea. But I think it was also from a new. They don't know what's going to happen week to week. Even they get shaken up again, or this team just gets whittled down to nothing. Because as soon as Sela was reconfigured, looks like the powerhouse of the mitochondria now.
They got Jonathan now over on Sela.
The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Whatever.
If you didn't know. I'm just letting you all know.
Did I say it right then?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were correcting me, and I was like, I said that right, didn't I? But yes, Jameel's also correct.
If you know anything about Becky, she loves that one fact that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
She repeats
it
meme at this point
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
That's an important fact. Foster, do you have anything to add to this discourse in terms of, I guess, how this all played out with the vote tonight? And no.
I think it all comes down to people being too cute, right? For whatever reason, some people think that they're playing like they're in Home Alone and they're Kevin McAllister setting up traps in the house. You got Devins and Christian setting up things at tribal council. You have Q kind of thing like deciding to put votes on himself when he doesn't even have a vote,
Yeah,
right?
insane.
That would
Doesn't
only
even have a vote. Tries to bluff that he has an extra vote.
Everybody already knows he doesn't have a vote at all, so they're all like,
yeah.
he was doomed, man.
Yeah.
As soon as they dropped his name, as soon as they lost, I was like, Q's going home. My MVP's going home. And it really, they didn't even try to spin it. You know how like sometimes they do that last right before tribal camp moment where they try to, the producers try to spin it a little bit, and they did a tiny little bit, but the conversation just kept getting back to Q no matter how much. He didn't politic for himself. In fact, he politicked against himself.
He did.
So
that's why it was so funny with Mike White when he was voting, where he was like, "You told me to do this," and then he just puts it in there so cold. It was great. That was a great moment. Yeah, I don't know. I was like, I like Q, and like I really had this like premonition, like somehow he was going to go deep in this season, and I'm really kind of surprised.
MVP. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really surprised he goes out this early, but you know, it is what it is. It's not. There's a logical reason he's out. So like, or many logical reasons.
I didn't think he was gonna go late into this game.
No, but you've never been a Q fan.
No, I like Q, but I don't, especially for a returner season like this. Q's not built for this type of season at all.
I agree, and especially with him having no vote here. And I don't know, he's like, and the way he tried to pull in Emily here, I think was sloppy, and and it obviously backfired. The way him and Stephanie, I don't know, I'm not even sure if Stephanie's built for this new era so much either. It's like I've not been too impressed with how she's been going, and like, and Ozzy seems to be like on this island on his own right now because he doesn't have Sari with him.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm misunderstanding. So the mistake that Q and Stephanie had was, if they're trying to get Emily to their side, they should be like more like, "Hey Emily, what's your opinion?" Like, make her feel important. But they immediately went into, "We're gonna tell you what to do. You're gonna come along for the ride." Second thing is Ozzy saying he wants to play a different game, right? I don't know what game he's playing because supposedly he's with Q, and he just leaves him out to dry completely, right? And now he's by himself again.
Yeah,
Stephanie didn't vote with him.
Okay, who did Stephanie vote for? I gotta look
Angelina.
that up. Oh, she voted for Angelina. So how many votes? Only one vote on Angelina.
One.
So Ozzy went along with this. So Ozzy was pulled in by Emily. So it seems like really like now Stephanie's on the bottom of that tribe right now.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Try. Yeah, there goes Foster. He's having some issues there. Although I think I've got to pull that moment where I'm like, "Hey, Foster, you got anything to add?" And he just stares like,
okay, nothing to add.
Nothing to add. Sorry, I asked. But anyway,
he's doing his best impersonation of Charlie listening to Rizgod talk. So
right.
I'll recap it a little bit. So we have Rizgod in the group with the new tribe makes a comment to Charlie about, "Are you still talking to Maria?" For folks who don't know, in Charlie's season, Charlie was in the final three, and his best ally, Maria, didn't vote for him, right? And Charlie
deservedly so.
Charlie's a little bit salty about that.
Extremely
salty.
I'm salty about Charlie, for the record. But let's keep going.
And then later on, Rizzo is talking about what he did for his tribal, and he was the fourth person voted out. And he said that he had his number one, which was Sophie, which I don't believe that's true. That was true at all. But anyway,
no, it wasn't true. That was the other thing. Yeah, like you're hitting on some really good points here, Jaemeel. Because I was like, your number one was Savannah, and maybe, and Savannah's already been voted out, and he knows that. So why would he say it? But anyway.
So then, he admits that he didn't vote for Sophie. Right, and all you see is Charlie with his eyes just like wide open, like I'm not gonna trust this man at all. It was
It was a
funny
great moment. Like the whole thing with them sitting there and them talking, and then we relive all of that. And then so now we know that Charlie's going to get a little bit of revenge for himself, probably by teaming up with Riz God, which honestly, like, I feel like Charlie could have a bit of a like villain redemption arc during this. I don't think he's going to win because I think he's too caught up on that previous loss. He hasn't really done anything in this game. He's barely talked in this game so far. It's weird. Like, he was so part of his season, and this time around, it's like,
Well, I have to remove the other studio. There's two
We
Fosters.
got dual Foster.
Yeah, Foster, can you hear us?
Yeah, sorry, I've been having it's really bad tonight. I got to, well, maybe I should buy a laptop before I buy a new vehicle. Maybe that's what I have to prioritize here
Yeah.
for the sake of the podcast quality.
Buy a vehicle that has a laptop built into it.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? If you know what, it sounds like I'm saving money then, and then I could get to be alone and and have some quiet time and whatnot.
Sit in your
right?
car
So
with a podcast. Yes. Good work.
Yeah, and I think maybe the parking lot will be a lot. The underground parking will be better lit, maybe too. I don't know, right? So
well, you can turn on the
lots
light
to
over
consider
top.
here, right?
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah. So no, but no, just if I may chime in, because it's been kind of I've been kind of just trying
Floor is
to
yours.
keep up here with the conversation. Thank you. To Jameel's point, like it's like about Emily, right? Like it seems like she's trying to be like trying to get involved sooner than she did last time because she's learned already. But you could tell, and it was a perfect example when she like messed up and told Q and Stephanie about Aubrey's idol that Christian told her. And then it was like, because she's just kind of frazzled. Like she doesn't, you know what I mean? She's kind of lost her momentum, if you will. Right. And then immediately she's like, I should have made that mistake. Right. And this is, kind of the evolution from the last time she played where she took a while for her to realize. I can't remember who, like someone approached her in that season, I believe, and told her like how she was acting or whatever have you. Right. And it was a wake up call. Whereas this time she's a lot more self-aware and Angela says it best about Emily,
Angelina?
how she's very Angelina. Thank you. She's very direct, right, when she speaks, and that was something that I think we all, enjoyed, especially as in her season as when it went along, when she really evolved, because she was kind of a straight shooter, not like very very different than the sense of, like Joe and Coach and the honor and the you know what I mean. Like it's like she just gets straight to the point. Like there's no other thing around it. She just tells you, as it is, right? But again, like with Ozzy, like he's kind of just it almost feels like it's in no man's land. Like he's not, doing really anything. He's kind of just floating.
I kept being
which,
like, hey, Emily, stop getting lost in Ozzy's eyes.
It almost seems like it's actually good for it almost feels like it's good. You kind of on a counterpoint of like Ozzy's not doing anything, but it also may be a good unknowing strategy for him that he's not really realizing he's doing, because he was so successful before in the challenges and proving to be such a competitive threat that he may not, like, again, like he's not very good social, right? He's obviously not performing as well in the challenges, so it may be better for him to fly under the radar, because we've noticed that with some of these people that have gone out early, voted out, not Kyle, but they're playing too loud or too fast, right? And that was a big example of like Rizzo and what Charlie was saying, right? Like just like quiet, like you're saying too much. It's happened with Savannah, which is getting voted out. And again, like, so you can see some of these players, like they're saying they're playing a different game, and only some of them we've actually seen it being different, or they've gotten better since the last time we've seen them, like Emily, where they're putting into practice early on, but still obviously, not to their own fault, if you will, but that's just who she is, right? In terms of her needing to be a little bit more self-aware.
Well, it's very interesting. Thank you for all those points.
The point I'm trying to make is I was listening to all you guys, and I was just adding to your points. So
No, it was good. It's good. It was a lot. There's a lot to unpack there, So I'm just, where do we segue?
Well,
from
I was
here?
listening. It's there's a lot of different people you're talking about, and I'm just like I'm trying to like clue into the keywords and stuff. I know Dave. I don't know what the question you asked me, Dave, but I completely didn't even hear what you said. I just heard like, okay, then, and I'm like, oh, is that? I kind of was like, oh, geez,
I have a bit of a
did that
I have a bit of a segue that's like, telling people to sort of keep it down and not say too much. If we look at the Green Tribe,
yes, the new Green Tribe or the old Green Tribe?
The new Green Tribe. The configuration of that, they're basically telling, what's the woman's name? Shelley? Chrissy. Basically, the 3 pillars of toxic masculinity, integrity, and warrior spirit get together. Joe, Coach, and Colby, who they're gonna probably dominate, but also they're gonna pull shit like this. They basically tell Chrissy that to stop yapping, and then she starts crying, and she's like, I've never cried. I don't come out here to be treated like this. I'm usually treated like shit out here anyway. At home, I've got a great life. And I couldn't help but feel like, it's one thing to want your tribe to sort of keep it on the down low, but it's another thing to outwardly try to act like this to one of your teammates. And that's the segue.
He could have said it so much better. Coach.
Coach sucks so bad.
He did it one-on-one.
Coach should have said that so much better.
He's a tough love coach. He's not going to sugarcoat this. This is a man who emasculated Colby once in Heroes Villains. Remember?
But he's also he's also not telling her what he's trying to say.
Exactly.
He didn't soften the blow. I'll say that much.
No,
but she's like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Well, sometimes
it was not with grace.
It was not with grace." I would say that's one way of also putting it, Foster.
But he also
there was no
he created connective tissue for the women in the tribe, which don't the women outnumber the men in that tribe too?
Yes.
Like I was okay. As soon as I was seeing it was like Colby, Joe, and Coach, I was like, you idiots! Like the more you guys bro down with each other, the women are gonna go. There's 4 of us, 3 of them. Like we'll just vote one of them out. Like what are you talking about here? But I don't know. They're a little arrogant.
I hope it's Coach.
Coach needs to face Ozzy one more time.
Hey, you know what? If that can be guaranteed, then he can be voted out later.
Because we're going to talk about this at the end, I think, or before I depart. What are the storylines so far in this season? And there are a couple.
There's a few storylines. Jaemeel, if you know any of them, I don't want to.
Coach versus Ozzy is.
Coach versus Ozzy is definitely this, but also I guess it's definitely like a sequel in some ways to Heroes Villains for me. A lot of that around Colby. I think Colby has a special place in Jeff's heart, and I think Colby is going to be a very special part of the season. Yeah, that could be part of it.
Colby also wants to some redemption because he feels like this is his last crack, and he didn't do very well since Australia, and he's determined to kind of prove his worth. Right. Next one is obviously the MacGuffin we have at Tribal Council now, just sitting there, folks. If you take something and put it into a place, it isn't a heist. It's a plan. If you take stuff out, it's a heist.
Yeah.
Well, we're being kind of technical here, aren't we, Jaemeel? Like,
don't call it a heist. A heist. Look, okay. What are the elements? We talked about this already. What is a heist? How do you do a heist? A heist, you need to have a crew. You need to have a montage. It wasn't a heist. There needs to be a double cross. It wasn't a heist. These are the elements of a heist. It wasn't a heist.
There was no double cross. There was no montage that I can remember.
Correct.
So yeah,
Yes.
it's more. Well, it's a. It was a
Technically,
moment.
technically, all of Survivor is a montage.
Oh,
That's the loosest of elements. The loosest. Of
Yeah,
elements.
I know. I'm playing devil's advocate, I suppose.
Yes. Other storyline.
other storylines.
Charlie was. He seemed the most excited, not about learning about there's idols, but learning that it was a Billie Eilish idol.
Yeah, he was
his eyes
definitely
lit up.
he was definitely more into the Billie Eilish of it all.
'Cause he loves pop
Absolutely.
music.
He
'Cause
loves pop.
Taylor Swift. He loves pop. He loves Billie Eilish. Definitely.
This is
So
next
he was
level love, though. This is like a special kind of like,
It was like-
you know,
It was like N64 Kid when he
Yeah.
found that out.
because Charlie, I think he's I think there's multiple storylines coming from all these different characters because they've all played before, right? But some of them more than others. Charlie definitely has a storyline going on here, especially after this episode, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and what him wanting to get at Rizzo for not being a loyal Alliance member in season 49, which he hasn't even seen. So, you know, he can't even. How can he even?
Just wait until Charlie is voted out, but part of the tribal council, the final council, and he votes against Rizzo, and Rizzo is one vote short from winning. That would be a
incredible.
full circle moment. We have Aubrey versus Genevieve.
Genevieve.
Oh, that's gonna.
That's
be good when it
definitely-
comes to a
My
head.
girl, my number one pick.
What do you think of this story? What is this storyline exactly? Is this like Genevieve's a bully? Like, is that what's
No.
happening?
No, it was
No.
like they had mutual respect, and then Aubrey realized that Genevieve is a shark because she thought about it for 5 minutes after they palled up. Then basically was like, "I see you, and I'm not. We can't really work together." And then this week, Genevieve's going around just talking smack about Aubrey to anybody that will listen. So we're still in the first act of their story, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
D and Suri, D versus Suri.
Yeah.
D versus yeah.
And now,
like-
now Suri versus Riz God seems to be a thing too, because she's like, I'm going to strangle this man if he doesn't have a little bit of self-awareness, please.
she doesn't remember him from years ago.
Which is like, of course, she's not going to remember.
Of course. Why would she? She was
wasn't-
probably at.
he-
I
Go
was
ahead.
just going to say
He
she was
clearly
probably
wasn't
at the
loud enough.
casting call.
What do you say, Foster?
Oh, I said he wasn't loud enough for her to remember.
Yeah.
Well, he worked on that after he saw her for the first time. He worked on that
Riz-
for the rest of his life.
Rizgod probably reminds her of her son, and that's why she absolutely despises him.
He's a little bit like her son, who we watched play on Big Brother.
Yeah.
You know, like they have some, I don't know, like they're both like kind of pound their chest kind of guys. I don't know what else to say. But they also have different energies in a lot of, like, Rizgod is more of this like wily
Bravado.
kind of bravado. Yeah. It was, what was her son's name?
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant.
That's a strange
Brandon?
name.
Brant? No, it's something like that. But he was
Foster,
Jared.
even if you were right, yeah, Jared, even if you were right, I wouldn't believe you. I'd be like, I don't remember this man's name.
I don't know. That was the first thing that came to my head. I don't know why I thought. And I remember seeing him a little bit in that season, like those two, right? So I only saw a bit of that season, but I remember that. And I remember it was like the first day there was the one player that was like, you guys are like related. Like she just called it out right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, any other storylines that you think are worth noting here?
Who's going to be on the White Lotus next season? After getting a
Rizgod.
casting.
Rizgod's going to actually be a character on the next season,
Yeah.
Maybe.
playing himself.
I do not remember Angelina in that. I watched that season. I don't.
So did
remember
I.
that was her.
My wife pointed it out to me. I remember my wife pointing it out to me, and I being like, "Who?" Because I don't remember Angelina really.
What? You don't remember her asking for a jacket?
Oh,
I remember
like,
that.
not
I remember
really.
that moment, but like that's about it. Like I forgot that was even the same season that Mike played on the first time.
Yeah.
So I forgot that they knew each other.
Me too.
You know, but apparently they're best friends. You know, enough that she's in the show. Everything else, I don't know. Mike Waite is one of the more interesting players, I think, this season because, geez, he doesn't need to be doing this. And he even says that. He's like, why am I here in the muck? Why am I here, you know, doing all this? And like, but I still love it. The highs make the lows worth it. Talk about a storyline for the season. He's writing a storyline for himself.
He's trying to do what Russell Hands couldn't do.
Like come back from a runner-up performance and actually win?
No, to be a person that doesn't have to win and show how easy it is to win Survivor.
Oh, yeah.
Because he, like, I don't sense a lick of danger from this man.
No, wait till we get some wine into him. The best part of Survivor ever, of him being wasted, partying with his pals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think Mike Waite. I don't know. I definitely want to see more of him in this whole thing. I don't know where he's going and what he's going to do because I don't know, him even going around tonight. I don't know, Q. Like I might have to vote for you, but just like him, the way he was playing tonight, I thought was crazy weird, but also kind of fun to watch. Even like who was the other one on when Genevieve was going around like, let's get out Aubrey. I'm like, what are you doing? This always backfires. Always turns into let's vote out Genevieve. So we don't have to hear her talking about voting out Aubrey every day.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to do it organically, and bringing it up seemingly with everyone. That's bad. But it's interesting.
Yeah. So keep going.
I was gonna throw it to you because I think I need some challenge review from Foster.
Foster, do you want to talk? There was only one challenge in this episode. It was reward and it was immunity, and chickens were involved.
Okay, come on. You gotta, just like Jaemeel has to prepare Dave for his schedule, I need to be prepared if we're only getting one challenge. Okay, I cannot pour all my energy into. No, I can't. No, you know what? I actually, again, so here's the thing. Like, I had a whole spiel last week about the challenges and stuff, right? And it was really indicative to that episode and the two challenges that were done, which were like literally a copy and paste with different colors. But it wasn't applicable or I guess relevant or even advantageous to anybody last week. And again, this type of challenge this week, it's standard. It's nothing new. It's nothing crazy. But what it was the timing of the challenge, which I really enjoyed, right? So, when you do a new tribe swap, you do a tribe swap, you don't know each other as well. You kind of, get kind of thrown into, especially with a communication type of challenge, which typically what we've seen is in these type of challenges, like if the person who's talking, like calling it all out and they fail, they become like a heavy target, or a very strong consideration for tribal, Christian being in the, David and Goliath, group, that he was pretty safe. But again, this type of challenge, despite it being pretty similar to the, what they've done before, really was good for this situation, like this episode, because they had just did a tribe swap. There's a lot of people still involved. And again, so it's the timing. So like again, I look back at the first week I thought was good. Some of those one-on-one challenges, second, like last week was like, what's going on here? Like, like nothing to really, and at least this week it's, copy and paste still, but it's actually like enjoyable to just watch because there's not a lot of like, they're not meshed, if you will, as a tribe. Right. And there's not that cohesiveness except for some of these people who have played together before. So
that's a good point.
I mean, I appreciate that.
That's a good point. And I didn't think of that. So like, thank you. But it was funny because when they first did the tribe swap, Angelina or somebody was just like, that's it. And I was going, did Jeffy forget to book a game right here? Did he accidentally just like walk away going, oh yeah. But yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. And the way the episode was structured as well, right? Smack dab in the middle, we got this like pretty long game, and it was like a throwback to other versions of this game with some new little twists to it. I thought it was a pretty good one.
Yeah, the blindfold one works on as a TV thing because you're like, well, how's this going to play out? How is each caller going to sort of, I guess, be distinct enough? And this was close, until it wasn't. I think it was the Orange Tribe that really pulled ahead at one point. And then, the puzzle, I don't know, like solving a puzzle blindfolded with directions is different than guiding people through a maze. It's just a little bit of a tougher challenge. So, the fact that Christian lost by a few minutes, whatever, like it's most of these, I find that most of these challenges are always so close. I'm like, well, if it's this close, then like it feels like a crapshoot on who's going to win anyway. I don't feel like, oh well, like, obviously this tribe lost because they were so much worse. They were so much weaker because they have Angelina. I don't think that was the case at all here. Like they were saying, like, we got to vote off Angelina if we're going to vote off anybody. I'm like, well, not from this. Like, if you're judging just based on this challenge, it doesn't matter because there was nothing significant here. And I don't know what it is. Christian's got good certain puzzles, but not blindfolded ones, I guess.
Yeah, but what's her face is amazing at puzzles. So, I don't know anybody's name tonight. My brain is fried.
Camilla,
yeah, as soon as I saw her like being the one to sort of explain to them how to do the puzzle, I was like, oh, they're gonna win. Scylla's gonna have their big redemption night tonight because she dominated puzzles in her season. I mean, it almost got her the W for the whole season, right? So
yeah, and she wasn't. And the thing that I did like about obviously there's the added element of doing it blindfolded while someone's directing you. Obviously, when you can see, it's not a very hard puzzle, right? But it's not about that. It's about communication, right? That's the main thing of this challenge, and really the only thing.
Compared to Christian, did you look at what they had put together at the very end? What Vatu had put together? It was like an L, with a completely I don't know what he was. Part. Yeah, what was he doing?
Yeah,
he wasn't really good at that.
No, it was just. Yeah, it wasn't clear. There was no decisiveness in terms of, but also too like, but in that situation, the two people that are doing the puzzle need to be like listening and then very calm and you know what I mean? Like small movements, like when you're doing that first part, you got to be a little bit more rushing. Obviously don't hit your head, Colby. But I thought he was, first of all, I thought he was concussed. When he hit his head, himself. Yeah. I thought he like just the way he was, cause like, I don't know if it was cause they were tethered together, but I'm like, for a split second, I'm just like, are they going to stop this? This guy looks like he's about to like keel over. Like he just,
it didn't look good for sure.
And are we going to have a Bruce 2.0?
Jeff was just like that, get through Survivor with some blood. You better just take your bumps there, Colby.
Give me some blood so I can absorb your energy, Colby.
Yeah, that's how I write my rap music.
What he really, well, before we get to that, that's a good point, Dave. Is I was gonna say, Jeff was probably secretly saying, Colby, get up, I need you this season, right? Yeah. So that was probably what really went beyond, but that the rap that he had, oh my god, like at the tribe swap, that was, I don't know, has he ever done that before? Like I've never even. Do
you want to relive it? Because I pulled it.
Nice.
Yeah,
let us relive it. It was
I think we need to. Here we go. Is there ever? Yeah. Is there ever been
second time? Oh my god.
Has there ever been a worse ride than with drop your bluffs to drop your buffs? Like that's not a great way to end your
song. How many times do you think he
almost
to do it? And then also, how long do you think, if he had got it on the first go, do you think he just practiced it for like 2 straight days in between, or like a whole year?
I think he practiced it at least a couple times, and and I don't
100% in the mirror, in the shower. Yeah,
like there was a cue card off probably practicing somewhere.
He might have had cue cards potentially.
I have to give. I think Jeff. I give him a little credit. I think he can memorize that, but because it's again it's rhyming, so it's not it's not like it's poetry or something like that. but I would not be remiss if he was, that was literally his like every day, like whenever he had a moment, just like under his breath, okay, this is my big moment. This is my big rap career moment. I need, whoever he's got contacts in LA to see this. You know what I mean? Like I need, Dr. Dre or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I got to get this good. So
he sang that song too on Jimmy Fallon right before the season aired too. So now he's got 2 songs. So maybe a Jeff Probst album coming.
But he used to be in a rock band or something. I saw that when he was on Jimmy
Oh,
Fallon.
okay.
He used to be the host of Rock and Roll Jeopardy before he was on Survivor.
Okay.
Fun fact there too.
In the 90s.
Back in the 90s, Rock and Roll Jeopardy. Yeah. And then he heard about Survivor and he went after the job apparently. But that's Jeff. On this challenge, yeah, I don't know, it was fine, but like I don't know, the rap music was worse.
Yeah, again, it wasn't the actual challenge, like what they were doing. It was more so the implication of what they had to do, right? So that was, based on what, again, like I said at the beginning, timing. So this was a really good time to do this, challenge, and based on like the tribe swap and stuff, right? But it also kind of begs the question, because again, like we kind of brought this up last week where, like we were talking about like Redemption Island essentially like not being, if it's like not a thing, it's just that 1 week. And again, like this is season 50, so like this episode just felt like any other season. Like there was nothing, and I'm not saying like there has to be like something, but again, there's no like substantial like twist. Like there's not like extra journeys, or there's not.
Well,
extra,
we're getting Zach Bryan next week, like actually on the island. I don't think Billie Eilish is going to show up, but when they were first pitching the celebrity thing, I thought that every episode was going to have some big celebrity tie-in. And then in that first episode, like you said, when we saw the Exile Island thing, I was like, oh, they're gonna have some sort of Exile Island element all the way through. But I think it's literally like it's functioning as a best of the past, like a greatest hits, and then also a giant billboard for various other things. Like I'm sure one of the meals will be a branded, like Applebee's situation.
No, that's fine. They've had sponsored meals in the past, kind of thing, right? What was it, like Applebee's or something like that, or like
there's been some great moments.
But no, I think, well, this is a good opportunity actually. I think we talked about it like a little bit. Like first of all, to your point, Jason, I'm still not pleased with the fact that they're bringing like celebrities on the island. I don't like. I'm very firm with that. I don't like it. But what I wanted, like something we talked about last week about, and you said about Exile Island, right? About bringing something like back. Now, again, we kind of got the understanding that it's more of a taste rather than a actual consistent part of the game. I'll let you guys, because you guys have watched all along with me. Is there anything that you guys would really want to see be implemented, or at just, one episode, like,
I was hoping for overall, like instead of Exile, I was hoping it was going to be Redemption. And that was like when you get voted out, you don't go left, you go right to Redemption Island. Everybody sort of groups up on Redemption Island until there's like 4 or 5 people, and then they played a game to come back at about like the midpoint of the season. There's just 6 or 8 people. And then they did it again at the end, like for the second half of the season, and that person got reintegrated into the game, even though they haven't followed the whole game. But that said, you have as much an opportunity as anybody else to win the whole thing by spending all that time on Redemption. It's just interesting to me. It's like a round robin tournament feeling.
I like the purgatory
Losers
effect of
bracket.
it in the seasons they used it on. It's not my favorite twist, but they haven't used it for a while. So if they did it more this season, I wouldn't be complaining. But I think the ones I like more are the ones where the tribes have to mess with each other, raid each other's camps.
Yeah, the
or-
one where they got to go to the other person's camp. I think they did it exactly once, but that was so funny to me. Where there's like a person sneaking into their camp to like get something. Like, does the
Right.
boat in the night take them around the island to the other camp, or are they close enough together?
Yeah, I wish that we understood more the geography of how far apart these tribes are, because like that. There's that one on Netflix that's like the wilderness show, and they always like Delta Camp is this part of the river, and Alpha Camp's over here, and like they don't. Even though we've watched many seasons here in this Fiji setting, I don't have a great sense of which
Yeah.
how far these things are apart. If you get the sense that you have to take a boat to get from one to the other. But yeah, like messing with the other tribes, sending things, excursions are not always the worst thing to see, especially with 90 minutes. They got time for it, but I appreciate that they also spend all these times on these dynamics. Like, what is the social play of the season? Do people? I guess they're playing to this fact that they think most of the fans are looking for the social dynamics, but they'll throw a challenge in here, some relay race, but. I don't know. Like for me, like that's like the most mindless thing. Like that it's almost like playing Yahtzee. Who's going to win the challenge? And it's so and so. I haven't seen Jonathan win a challenge for his team yet, or anything like in that nature. Because it seems like once a couple of people get voted out, they just like will swap it up. And I guess this swap was coming anyway. This was going to happen no matter what, and I don't mind it. Especially in our season returning players, keep them on their toes, keep, stop, so that they don't have everything locked down. Every tribal. It's been interesting to see some of them have to scramble. And not, I guess.
I'm not sure what, like, there might even be another scramble. It seems really early in the season for a drop your buffs.
Yeah. So, we just finished episode 3, and like the merge usually comes around episode 7. So we got a while here before we're probably merging.
And this is a longer season too. It's like 14 episodes instead of 12 or something.
14 episodes, but I think it's the same amount of days.
Okay.
So I think they're doing 26 days, which is the same as last season. But they have 24 people to get out, right? We'll convert most of those. It's 18 normally. So we got 6 more. Kyle getting medically evacuated. It was like whatever. I was sort of like.
I wonder if they'll do one of those like at merge. Somebody gets voted out if they don't make it into the tribe or something. You know how they do that sometimes.
Yeah, they usually put someone in purgatory. They might put someone in Exile Island again if you want to see that twist come back. It could be when they get closer to the merge, the episode probably before the merge or of the merge. Somebody will have to like go there, or maybe 2 people will go there, and like one will come back into the game or something like that. I don't know. Like, what else could they bring back from like the 50 seasons? We know there's a few of these things that we can expect to happen. Like, there's a few of these votes that have still to play out. The make players had to earn their rice.
We got chickens back this season, but we've had chickens back I think for 1 or 2 seasons. Like I was like they should have saved it if they weren't going to use it, because they brought chickens back last season. Was that the first time in a while? So I feel like they didn't have chickens for a long time.
I know in 49 they did, but I can't remember they did for many years before that. Somewhere in the 40s. It was like we probably did it like in 44 and then not again until 49. I'm making that up, but it's credible.
It's credible.
Yeah. Anyway, like I think we could probably start wrapping it up here for the evening. Like let's just finally have our last eulogy on Q, Quinn, the guy. Your draft pick, a member of Team Jason.
My draft pick and my MVP on my other Survivor. I'm very mad about this.
Yes, but you still have Emily and Ozzy.
All of my people are on one team right now. This is terrible.
Yeah, they're all the same tribe at the moment, or they just were until all this happened. Let's Q. Like, he tried, I guess, kind of. Let's remember.
He almost self blindsided.
Almost self blindsided. Like, I think Stephanie was the only one who was truly blindsided. Like, it seems like those two were on the bottom. Stephanie was the one they were saying, like, oh, that's what we're going to say, but really it's Q. Even more so that Q didn't have the vote, and boom.
Yeah. Also, Mike was always going to vote for Q regardless.
Yeah, he was going to. He's like, you told me to do this, and that was
No, but even before that, because the whole thing was to tell Q that they were going to vote Stephanie, and then he was going to vote Q to make him not politic. So the writing was on the wall as soon as they brought his name up after they lost.
Absolutely. You know, and I don't know, like we said, like not built for the season, but he was fun while he lasted. I really thought, you know, maybe somebody from that original Vatu tribe will fulfill Q's prophecy that they'll win for Kyle, who had to go out because of that Achilles injury. Maybe it is one of the original Vatu. Maybe it's Angelina. Maybe it's Aubrey, Colby, Genevieve, Rizzo, or Stephanie. I don't know. Could it be one of them?
You laugh, but Rizzo might get
Rizzo.
through.
I could see Rizzo winning this season.
Me too.
Not quite.
I know you're saying no, but you look how far he got. I thought he was going to be voted out very early last season, and he ended up winning me over, and I wanted to strangle him also. Suri might kill him. There might be a medevac from Suri murdering a 21-year-old man.
25. He's 25. He seems
He's
21.
25.
But
Seems 14.
I know. He seems very, very young. But you know, hey, he speaks Albanian. So he's worldly. Yeah, and then just looking ahead to our next episode, which is titled, what is the next episode called? Knife to the Heart. It's got coming out on my birthday. Let's have a look. Okay.
The wrestling episode.
Like how they were doing like those wrestling moves, like, you know, it looked pretty real.
I imagine the conversation goes, I'm training to be a wrestler, and Charlie goes, I like wrestling. I know a few moves from when I used to wrestle with my friends. And then they just practice wrestling on each other. If the people in the background weren't smiling, if they cut it different, then I might think, but I was like, those are worked punches, if you will. And they looked pretty good. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that part is real. Although, you know, there's a swimming challenge coming, Foster. The challenge looks kind of interesting. They gotta swim. We can see maybe Jonathan really dominate something.
Swim.
Good swim.
Love a swim.
I don't know. Mike White challenging Christian was the other part of the trailer. You know, are you in with me? Like, this David versus Goliath trio? I don't know. Might not be that much of a trio, at least not for very long. We'll see.
Also, Mike White's gonna ride high off him orchestrating getting Q out too. I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What was Stephanie looking at and going, holy blank? I know now that Ozzy's a porn star. Could it have been Ozzy's package?
Just
throwing it out.
schlong.
She's like, I heard about you. I've seen videos, but I don't believe it. And then he's like, oh, look. And then she's like, whoa. Could it be that? No, maybe not. That would be inappropriate. That would be like Richard Hatch inappropriate. It's like,
but not out of the realm of possibility.
Not out of the realm of possibility either. So, but you know, when Ozzy's not managing a restaurant, he's also, or no, he's not in a porno. He's also managing a restaurant that Mike White frequents frequently in Los Angeles. Like, Hollywood's a weird place. That's my sense on it.
That's what they call it, Holly Weird, Dave.
Holly Weird, and with that, I don't know what else to say. We'll look ahead. We'll come back on this and see how this all plays out. Jason, what's happening on? Hey, did you see this one this week? What are you looking
I'll tell you. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. We're covering Jason Goes to Hell: The Final Friday as the Grimoire Familiar Killers pages turn. We have on guest Cody Crane, who is an actor here in Toronto. He had a podcast, like a ghost story style podcast that was known for going 500 weeks in a row without a single break, which I'll have him explain more on the show. Also, speaking of ghosts, he's on the television show Ghosts.
Which guy is he?
He's the cholera, one of the cholera people in the basement.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So if you watch the show, you might know who he is. I
haven't really watched it, but I've seen like
Yeah.
bits, I guess,
from watching Survivor, probably on Global.
Mostly on Survivor on Global, yeah, where they
Yeah,
plug that
like-
show a lot.
Yeah, because it seems like it runs year round. But other than that, that's 8 p.m. Eastern on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. On March 20th, next Friday, we have Super Kicked here in Toronto. I'm the announcer for that company, and we have a big show coming up. The main event is Eric Young from TNA versus our very own Jesse V, who is the champion, and they're having a rematch for the Super Kick title, and it's going to be a big night, and it's going to be fun. So check out superkick.ca for ticket information, and we run that at the Great Hall here in Toronto.
Very cool. The Great Hall in Toronto. We'll look out for Super Kicked. Also, check out my other channel, Live Long and Podcast, a Star Trek themed podcast. We're talking about Star Trek all the time. On Mondays, we talk about Star Trek The Next Generation right now. We are about to cover Menage a Troy, season 3, episode 24 from Star Trek The Next Generation. Look out for that on Monday. But first, we're going to be covering the finale of Starfleet Academy, if you can believe it. Season 1, episode 10. It's already over.
You're already
Ruben
through that, eh? Wow.
We're already through season 1 of this show, and it will be like, well, apparently season 2 is just finished wrapping, so we'll see when it comes out. But probably another year until then, and then we'll see. Anyway, so if you want to hear about Starfleet Academy, all kinds of Star Trek, go over to Live Long and Podcast and check out all the great programs here in the Greater United Federation of Podcasts, including True Currency, Jaemeel's podcast. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, I guess we'll leave you here with the ender, and we'll see you next time here on Super Mario Bros. Podcast. Have a good one, everyone. Good night.
Let's go! Come on, Survivor 50. Get it on. Come on, join me.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise, Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mario Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.